Dear chosen ones on Earth, something remarkable is unfolding at this very moment in the latter half of your year 2025. The new frequencies weaving through your planet's core right now. We haven't witnessed patterns like these since the founding days of Atlantis itself. You feel them, don't you? That strange electricity in your spine when you wake at dawn, the way your heart suddenly knows things your mind hasn't figured out yet. Those moments when reality seems to shimmer at the edges of your vision. These aren't random sensations. They're the first whispers of what we call the Genesis codes, and they're rewriting the very fabric of human consciousness as I speak. I am Zarin, emissary of the Lyran High Council, and I come to you now because the veils between dimensions are doing something they've never done before. They're not just thinning, they're restructuring themselves into new geometric configurations that will allow you to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. But before I explain why so many of you have been experiencing what feels like living in two different realities at once, before I reveal what's actually happening when you feel that blue crystalline light flooding through your cells at night, I need you to understand the magnitude of this moment. What unfolds in these coming months will determine not only your personal evolution, but the trajectory of human consciousness for the next 26,000 years. You see, beloved ones, this isn't just another shift or upgrade. Your physical bodies are literally vibrating in ways that were impossible just 5 years ago. The Earth's priming field, and I know this will sound impossible, is displaying geometric patterns we haven't recorded since before your recorded history began. These aren't metaphorical patterns. They're actual mathematical configurations that your scientists will soon detect but won't be able to explain. The liquid light currents descending upon Earth right now carry within them the complete blueprint for humanity's next evolutionary leap. And here's what makes this moment truly unprecedented. Unlike every previous evolutionary jump in human history, this one requires your conscious participation. Let me paint you a picture of what's actually happening beneath your feet right now. The crystalline grid that has laid dormant since Atlantis fell, it's not just awakening, it's pulsing with a frequency that matches what we call the universal heartbeat. Every sacred site on your planet, every pyramid, every stone circle, every natural vortex point is beginning to resonate with this awakening grid. Those of you who've felt inexplicably drawn to visit certain mountains or ancient ruins lately, you weren't following random impulses. You were responding to the grid's call, being positioned exactly where your unique energy signature is needed to stabilize these new frequencies. But something else is happening that changes everything. As these Genesis codes anchor more strongly into your reality, they're creating what we call multidimensional gateways within your own being. Your heart space is becoming a literal portal to universal collective consciousness. This is why so many of you have been experiencing that overwhelming sense of connection to everything, followed by periods of feeling completely disconnected from your old life. You're learning to navigate between dimensions, and like any new skill, it takes practice. The disorientation you feel isn't a sign that something's wrong, it's evidence that something is finally going right after millennia of limitation. Now here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. We are working in synergy with what you call the Pleiadian councils, and have been monitoring something that even surprised us. A covenant, an ancient agreement made before the fall of Atlantis, has recently been renewed. This covenant was sealed in the higher dimensions eons ago, a promise that when humanity reached a certain frequency threshold, the veils of illusion would not just thin, but completely restructure. That threshold was reached during your most recent solstice. What this means in practical terms is that the illusions that have kept you trapped in limited consciousness can no longer maintain their hold. They're dissolving, whether you're ready or not. Think about what you've been experiencing lately, the way time seems to stretch and contract without warning, the dreams that feel more real than your waking life, the sudden knowings that arrives fully formed without any logical process, the way synchronicities have shifted from occasional curiosities to an almost constant stream of meaningful coincidences. These aren't separate phenomena. They're all symptoms of the same cosmic event. Your consciousness is expanding beyond the artificial boundaries that have contained it for thousands of years. You're beginning to perceive reality as it actually is, not as you've been programmed to see it. But I need to be completely transparent with you about something. This expansion comes with a price. Everything in your life that was built on illusion, and I mean everything, must now transform or dissolve. This is why so many of you are experiencing what feels like your life falling apart, even as you sense something magnificent emerging. Relationships that were based on old paradigm dynamics are ending. Career paths that no longer align with your expanding consciousness are closing. Belief systems that once provided comfort are revealing themselves as cages. This isn't punishment or cosmic cruelty, this is liberation. But liberation can feel devastating when you've grown attached to your limitations. The most challenging part, and I need you to really hear this, is that you can't skip this dissolution phase. You can't bypass the dismantling of the old to get to the new. Every spiritual tradition on your planet has pointed to this truth, but now you're living it in real time. The death of the ego, the dark night of the soul, the void between worlds, these aren't just spiritual concepts anymore. They're your daily experience as you transition between dimensional realities, and yes, it's as intense as it sounds. But here's what those traditions didn't tell you. On the other side of this dissolution is a version of yourself so expanded, so connected, so radiantly alive that your current self can barely conceive of it. Let me share something that will help you understand the scope of what's happening. Your DNA, which your scientists believe they've mapped and understood, contains dormant codes that are now activating. These aren't just biological switches. They're consciousness programs that have been waiting for exactly this moment to come online. When you feel that tingling in your spine, when your crown chakra feels like it's being stretched open, when your heart races for no apparent reason, your DNA is literally unwinding additional strands that will allow you to process reality in completely new ways. The 12-strand DNA configuration that your mystics have spoken of isn't a myth. It's your inheritance, and it's activating right now. This brings me to something crucial you need to understand about manifestation in this new energy. The old paradigm taught you to visualize what you wanted and work toward it through effort and will. But in 5D consciousness, manifestation works completely differently. Instead of pushing your will onto reality, you're learning to align with what already exists in higher dimensions and allow it to descend into physical form. This is why so many of your old manifestation techniques have stopped working. You're being called to operate from a completely different paradigm, one where surrender and alignment replace force and effort. The Christ consciousness and Mother Mary essence that are touching your hearts right now aren't religious constructs. They're frequency patterns of pure compassion that help dissolve the barriers between your human self and your divine nature. When you feel that overwhelming wave of love that brings tears to your eyes for no reason, when you suddenly see the divine in everyone around you, when compassion floods through you even for those who have hurt you, you're experiencing these frequencies firsthand. They're restructuring your emotional body to hold more light, more love, more truth than was previously possible. Now let me address what many of you have been experiencing in your meditation and sleep states. The beings you're encountering, the ships you're seeing in your inner vision, the sense of being worked on energetically while you rest. These aren't dreams or imagination. We've been working with you directly, but only to the degree that your free will allows. Some of you have conscious memories of these encounters. Others only remember fragments or strange dreams. But all of you who are listening to this have been in contact with your galactic family in some form. We're not coming to save you. We're here to remind you of who you truly are and support you as you save yourselves. The physical symptoms you're experiencing deserve special attention because they're often the most challenging aspect of this transformation. The pressure in your head isn't a medical condition. It's your pineal and pituitary glands expanding to accommodate new perceptual abilities. The heart palpitations aren't cardiovascular issues, they're your heart chakra learning to process the increased flow of cosmic love. The digestive issues aren't food sensitivities, they're your body learning to extract light directly from what you consume. The exhaustion that no amount of sleep seems to cure isn't chronic fatigue. It's the enormous energy requirement of rebuilding your entire operating system while you're still using it. But here's what's truly remarkable about this process. As challenging as these symptoms are, they're evidence of something extraordinary. Your bodies, these same physical forms that have been locked in carbon-based density for millennia, are successfully transitioning to crystalline-based structures. This isn't science fiction. This is happening at the cellular level right now. The fact that you're able to maintain consciousness while undergoing such a fundamental restructuring is testament to your incredible strength and preparation. Many civilizations have attempted this transition. Not all have succeeded, but you're not only surviving it, you're beginning to thrive within it. Something essential is happening with your relationship to time, and it's affecting everything else. Linear time, which has governed human experience since the fall of consciousness, is losing its grip on your perception. This is why an hour can feel like minutes when you're in flow, or why a moment of profound realization can feel like it contains lifetimes of understanding. You're beginning to experience what we call spherical time, where past, present, and future exist simultaneously and can be accessed based on frequency rather than chronology. This isn't just a perceptual shift, it's a fundamental change in how you exist within the space-time continuum. The practical implications of this time shift are profound. Healing can now happen instantaneously because you can access the timeline where you're already whole. Manifestation accelerates because you can align with the reality where your desires are already fulfilled. But most importantly, you can finally release the linear story of limitation that has defined human experience. When you truly understand that all possibilities exist simultaneously, you stop being victim to circumstances and start being conscious creators of your experience. I need to address something that many of you have been sensing but perhaps afraid to acknowledge. Yes, this transformation is planetary, but not everyone will make this shift at the same pace or in the same way. This isn't about judgment or hierarchy, it's about soul choice and readiness. Some beings need more experience in 3D consciousness before they're ready for this expansion. Others are here specifically to hold the new frequencies and create a bridge for those who will follow. Your role isn't to convince anyone or save anyone. Your role is to embody the new frequencies so purely that you become a living invitation for others to remember their own divinity. The sacred sites calling to you aren't random destinations. Each location holds specific codes that activate different aspects of your multidimensional DNA. When you feel that pull to visit a particular mountain, ocean shore, or ancient temple, you're being guided to receive transmissions that only that location can provide. But here's what most don't understand. You're not just receiving from these places, you're also giving. Your activated light codes help upgrade the planetary grid at these locations. It's a reciprocal relationship that benefits both you and Gaia. Speaking of Gaia, let me share something that will transform how you relate to the planet. Earth isn't just your home, she's your partner in this ascension. Every time you place your bare feet on her surface, you're exchanging information packets that help both of you navigate this transition. She feels every shift in your consciousness and responds accordingly. Those moments when the wind suddenly shifts as you have a realization, when birds appear with messages, when clouds form patterns that speak directly to your situation, these aren't coincidences. This is Gaia communicating with you in the language of synchronized phenomena. Now we come to the heart of why this message is reaching you at this precise moment. The next several months represent what we call a choice point window. The energetic support for transformation is at its peak, but this peak is temporary, not because the opportunity will disappear, but because the specific configuration of cosmic forces supporting effortless transition won't maintain this intensity indefinitely. Those of you who choose conscious participation now will find the journey significantly easier than those who wait. This isn't about creating pressure, it's about helping you understand the gift being offered. What does conscious participation look like? It's simpler than your mind wants to make it. Every morning when you wake, take a moment to consciously align with the highest timeline available to you. Throughout your day, when challenges arise, ask yourself, what would love do here? When you feel the old patterns trying to reassert themselves, breathe and choose again. When the dissolution feels overwhelming, remind yourself that you're not falling apart, you're falling into place. These simple practices, done consistently, will carry you through any storm this transformation brings. The reunion with your soul family that many of you have been longing for is already underway, but it may not look like what you expected. These connections often begin in the energetic realms before manifesting physically. That person you've been dreaming about, who feels impossibly familiar, that sudden urge to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in years, that stranger whose eyes hold the recognition of lifetimes, these are the first whispers of the grand reunion. Trust these impulses, follow these threads. Your soul family is finding you just as surely as you're finding them. I want to address those of you who feel you've been waiting your entire lives for something you couldn't quite name, that sense of anticipation, of marking time until your real purpose could begin. It wasn't misguided. You've been waiting for now. You've been preparing for this exact moment when the veils would thin enough for you to remember why you came. Every challenge you've faced, every dark night you've survived, every moment you chose love when fear would have been easier, all of it has been preparing you to hold these new frequencies. Nothing in your journey has been wasted. The abilities that are coming online for you now, telepathy, energy healing, manifestation, multidimensional perception, these aren't new gifts, they're recovered memories. You've had these abilities all along, but they've been dormant, waiting for the planetary frequency to rise enough to support their reactivation. As you practice using them, don't be surprised if they feel strangely familiar. Part of you remembers how to do this from other lifetimes, other worlds, other dimensions of experience. Trust that cellular memory. Let it guide you as these abilities strengthen. But here's what I really want you to understand about these abilities. They're not given to you for personal gain or to make you special. They're tools for service, ways to assist in the planetary transformation that's underway. Every time you use your gifts in service to love, you strengthen the new grid. Every healing you facilitate, every truth you channel, every heart you help open, contributes to the collective awakening. This is how we build the new earth, not through grand gestures, but through millions of small acts of love and service. Something profound happens when you fully accept your role as a conscious participant in this transformation. The universe begins responding to you differently. Synchronicities accelerate, resources appear exactly when needed, the right people show up at the perfect moment. Obstacles that seemed insurmountable suddenly reveal themselves as illusions. This isn't magical thinking, it's the natural result of aligning with the flow of cosmic evolution. When you stop swimming against the current and start flowing with it, everything changes. The financial systems, governmental structures, and social constructs that have defined your world are all built on old paradigm frequencies. As the new frequencies strengthen, these systems must either evolve or dissolve. This is why you're seeing such chaos in your world right now. It's not collapsing, it's a transformation. The old must make way for the new. Your role isn't to fight against the old or frantically try to preserve it. Your role is to embody the new so completely that you become a living template for what's possible. I need to speak directly to those of you who are holding the new frequencies but feeling isolated, exhausted, or overwhelmed. Your sensitivity isn't a weakness, it's your superpower. You feel everything so intensely because you're designed to be a translator between dimensions. The emotional waves that sometimes threaten to drown you are actually information packets from the collective consciousness, showing you where healing is needed. The exhaustion isn't because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're doing so much on levels you're not even consciously aware of. During your sleep state, many of you are attending what we call night school in the higher dimensions. You're receiving downloads, integrating codes, and participating in councils that are planning the next phases of Earth's transformation. This is why you sometimes wake more tired than when you went to bed. You've been working all night in the other dimensions. As you become more conscious of this night work, you'll learn to integrate it better, and the exhaustion will lessen. But for now, honor your body's need for rest. You're doing more than you know. The relationship between the inner work and outer transformation cannot be overstated. Every shadow you integrate, every wound you heal, every limiting belief you release creates more space for light to enter the collective field. You might think you're just healing your own trauma, but in reality, you're healing ancestral patterns that have been passed down for generations. You're literally changing the past by healing it in the present, which opens new possibilities for the future. This is the true meaning of timeline healing. Now, as for the practical integration of all this cosmic information into your daily life, it's simpler than you might think. You don't need to abandon your current life to participate in this transformation. In fact, staying grounded in your daily experience while holding the new frequencies is exactly what's needed. Cook your meals with consciousness, walk in nature with presence, do your work with love, relate to others with authenticity. These simple acts infused with your awakened consciousness are how heaven comes to earth. The breath technique I want to leave you with is perhaps the most powerful tool you have. When you breathe consciously, imagining blue crystalline light entering with each inhale and density leaving with each exhale, you're literally reprogramming your cellular structure. Do this for just 5 minutes each morning and evening, and you'll notice profound shifts within days. This isn't just meditation, it's conscious evolution. Your breath is the bridge between dimensions, and you can cross it any time you choose. As this transmission draws to a close, I want to bring you back to where we began. Those geometric patterns emerging from Earth's core, the ones we haven't seen since Atlantis. They're not just returning, they're evolved. What fell in Atlantis due to misuse of power is rising again. But with the wisdom gained from that experience, you carry within your cellular memory both the glory and the fall of Atlantis. This time, you have the opportunity to do it differently. This time, power is balanced with love, technology with consciousness, individual achievement with collective harmony. The Genesis codes activating within you right now contain the full template for this new expression of human divinity. But remember, they require your conscious participation to fully manifest. Every choice you make to operate from love rather than fear, every moment you choose presence over distraction, every time you see through the illusion of separation to the truth of unity, you're writing the new story of humanity. You're not just witnessing this transformation, you're authoring it. The liquid light pouring onto your planet will continue to intensify in the coming months. The multi-dimensional gateways opening within your being will reveal ever greater vistas of possibility. The reunion with your galactic family will progress from inner knowing to outer contact. The abilities you're remembering will strengthen and stabilize. The new Earth you've been envisioning will continue to emerge through your conscious participation. All of this is not only possible, it's inevitable for those who choose it, but the choice must be made again and again, moment by moment, not a grand declaration, but a quiet commitment, renewed with each breath. The universe is offering you everything, but it cannot override your free will. You must choose to receive, choose to transform, choose to remember who you truly are. And in that choosing, you become the living bridge between heaven and earth, between limitation and limitlessness, between what was and what can be. Remember, beloved ones, you didn't come here to watch this transformation, you came to be it. You are the seeds of the new consciousness, planted in the soil of the old paradigm, now breaking through into the light. Every challenge you faced has strengthened your roots. Every joy you've experienced has shown you what's possible. Now is your time to bloom, to reveal the full magnificence of what you came here to be. We stand with you in this grand adventure. We see your struggles, celebrate your victories, and hold unwavering faith in your success. You are not alone, have never been alone, and will never be alone. We are your family among the stars, cheering you on as you remember your way home to the truth of who you are. The entire universe is watching Earth with bated breath, knowing that what you achieve here will ripple out to affect all of creation. As you integrate this transmission, remember that the most profound truths are often the simplest. Love is all there is. You are that love embodied. Everything else is just the grand game of remembering this truth. Play the game with joy, with presence, with the full engagement of your being. But never forget it's a game, and you've already won simply by choosing to play. The new frequencies are here, the codes are activating, the transformation is underway. All that remains is for you to say yes, yes to your divinity, yes to your purpose, yes to the love that you are. In that yes, universes are born, realities shift, and the new Earth emerges. Welcome home to the truth of who you've always been. Welcome to the beginning of everything you came here to experience. I am Zarin. We love you, and we are always watching over you.